Today, I'm gonna put your swing to the test. It's Todd Graves with Graves Golf. I wanna make a statement here that I've made numerous times in the process of me teaching the single point swing. I wanna see if it makes any sense to you, because you're gonna probably say, man, I need to check this in my own golf swing, but I wanna actually today put you to a test. And that test is this: if you cannot hit the positions of your golf swing in slow motion, position by position, then you cannot expect to hit those positions in fast motion. So your tests today are gonna be the positions of your golf swing. And by the way, I teach a program that teaches every single position of the swing called Single Point 30 in 30 days. And then we blend those positions together into a perfect single point swing. This is part of my teaching program, is to test you on your swing. Because I'll tell you what, if you can't do what I do today in your swing positions, I know for a fact you cannot sequence the swing. So let me just go through what I'm gonna test you with today. I have a 7-iron in my hand, and you can do this with any club that you would like, but I'm gonna test the positions of my golf swing. And I'll just go into a little story that I did years ago. Is I used to test tour players that I was playing competitive golf with, on their swings. And one position that all players understand very well is impact. If you ask any good player, anybody who's played the game for a period of time that's good at it, where impact is, they will walk into you and they'll show you exactly where this magical moment of impact is. And what you'll see is, they'll have different versions of it, but you'll see tilt of their body, you'll see rotation of their torso, you'll see the hands leading, you'll see the trail arm slightly bent. You might see a straight leg or a bent leg, but you're gonna see the upper body position very structurally in this position, where you have this realignment of the club, the hands are leading, the head's back. You'll see these characteristics of impact. Well, let me ask you this. If I can have you go into impact and show me that, doesn't that tell me that in your brain, in your neural programming, you have that built in? You've done it enough, you've experienced it enough to have that built in. Yes or no, right? And so if you can't do it, it's not in there. That's why I'm testing you today, because I wanna know if that swing is inside of you already. And the first test, other than having you show me address and grip, is, can you get to this moment, can you show me impact? Because the address is gonna mirror impact. So that's the first test today, is let me see if you have impact programmed in. Then go to address and grip. Can you establish your address and grip? Now, that's where I would start. Then I'm gonna test you. Let me see your backswing. And if you can't show me a solid, good on-plane backswing position, and you'll notice this position where my trail leg is staying stable, I'm rotating against my leg, my arm here at the top have produced leverage, the back of my hand, the club face, there's lots of things I look for. I would test you in that position. If you were not good in that position, I would go backwards. I would say, okay, how are we at that first movement? Now can we go to the top? So I'm gonna break that up if I can't test you at this, what I call position 2. Then I'm gonna say, okay, you passed that test. Transition, I would wanna see you move lower body into that lead leg. There's your braking system. So I wanna see you brake into that leg and then move into position 3. I want you to hold here. Can you show me this position where you're in a hitting position, your body is still side bent, you're braced against this leg, you're rotating. So there's position 3. Impact position 4. Notice how 3 and 4 are very similar, right? Very similar. And then watch this, 5 is similar to impact as well. Look how similar position 3, 4, and 5 really are. It seems like it's just arm and shoulder motion, right? So test 2, stabilize, 3, 4, 5. And now watch 6, I'll test you here too. 6 is, there's your finish. Now look at how my head moved, club got back to the plane, and there's that rotational finish. This is what I would do. I want to test you in each position, because if you can't do what I just did, address and grip, position 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can't demonstrate to me exact positions of your swing, just like I did in slow motion, I guarantee it, when you do this, when you go to put speed into your swing, you're not gonna have those positions. You wouldn't know them, they're not in your brain. So now you're gonna see me hit those positions when I put speed into the swing. So I'm able to hit these positions because I can do them one by one. And I'll finish the discussion with this, because you might say, well, Todd, why is hitting the positions so important to making them dynamic into motion? And the reason for that is because when I'm showing you these positions, there's a lot more than just, oh, Todd, you put yourself in a position. There's stabilization happening in the body, there's rotation happening, and you're in every metric of the body. So for example, when I show you this position 2, for example, you'll notice that this has to stay still as this moves. So there's some range of motion happening where I'm reaching a limit of range of motion. I have to be stable. And then I have to separate my upper body from my lower body. So notice when I get kind of halfway back here, that my lower body is pretty much not moving, but my upper body continues. So you're seeing a separation of upper body versus lower. This is what you learn by training positions, is how the body both stabilizes, stays still, and separates and moves. And watch my arms in this motion. As I'm going back, my arms continue to move, and look at my hands and arms. Now there's a lot of motion in my hands and arms, not much in my lower body. So you're learning how the body separates out each quadrant and stays in its metric and stays in its posture and stays in its position. There's so much to be learned from the positions of your body. And on the final note here, if you're asking me, why are you struggling with your swing? Why you've always struggled with your swing? Or why are people not any good? Because they don't train this way. They haven't practiced in the correct way. That's why I put together my single plane 30 program, is because what you really realize is what people do is they run out, they start swinging at golf balls, and they're trying to put their body into a sequence, but they don't know how to stabilize it. They don't know the positions they should be in. And so they've really worked themselves backwards. You might be one of those people that struggles so badly because you're missing some key important ingredients in your swing. You're not able to hit the positions correctly. So my recommendation to you is to learn the positions of the swing. If you can't test yourself in these positions, and you cannot do it position by position in slow motion, I guarantee it that you won't do it in sequence. So again, now that I've learned all the positions of the swing, I can now set up in my address and grip position, should be perfect, and then make the proper sequence. And that's the whole point of being in positions, is that I now can work on the sequence, because now that I have the proper positions, now all I have to do is make sure I learn how to stabilize that, add some speed to it, and put it in a sequence. Hope that helps you understand why positions are so important, why I believe that you need to test yourself in those positions. Hope that gives you some advice on that. And if you want to learn how I teach this in the proper process and order, join my single plane 30 program. It starts every month, so you won't be able to join this month. You'll have to wait until next month, but make sure you hop in there for next month, because we teach the class for 30 straight days, teaching you the exact perfect way to swing a golf club in the single plane swing. Thanks for joining me. Click the buy icon, give me a thumbs up. I'll put the links in the description below. Talk to you soon.